What's going on, y'all? Top of the morning. By the time this uploads, it'll be well into the afternoon and not early evening. How long it's been taking lately. Um, First time here, like, share, subscribe, comment. Y'all see the title of the video, man. This is just like an update and just what I'm feeling, thinking, and hearing out here. Um, it's just it's a little bit more information that's been released about that unfortunate situation. I have a level of I don't know if concern is the right word. I'm trying to find the right word. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find the right word, and I really can't find it. Um, this situation, I got a feeling it's going to take a turn for the worse. Um, just from everything I'm hearing, and everything that I personally know about how stuff like this works. Um, so it's some updated information, like I said. So it was confirmed that the girlfriend or whoever, the mother of his daughter, whoever, she did drop the location, pin drop, whatever the case may be. About them being at Roscoe's or whatever. But the other piece of this that I'm hearing is a lot more troublesome. And that's, from what they're saying, is that because she had just got her account back, her Instagram account back. He took her Instagram account, gave it a password. For whatever reasons, I don't know what influenced that to happen. But she pretty much just got the account back. And they had supposedly have been arguing outside the restaurant or on Rodeo Drive somewhere, whatever the case may be. And when they got to the place, she had posed to have put the pin drop, and her ex-boyfriend picked up the location, and they had some kind of friction, I guess. The ex-boyfriend and PNB had some Rock. I mean, PNB is the actual block name. I told y'all that. But Rock was supposed to have some kind of issues in the past, and the pin drop was just supposed to have been some kind of robbery, confrontation, not going that far to a murder, right? So then they said, she wasn't, she didn't stay on the scene for the paramedics. She was sitting there when he was shot. Was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to go this far. I'm so sorry. And she supposed to have booked up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And it hasn't. I mean, enough people haven't been confirmed. The police haven't come out and confirmed it or nothing like that. But honestly, it's one of them things that I wouldn't even be surprised about. Just keeping it a buck and knowing the stuff that I know, I wouldn't be surprised. That's the stuff that worry you when you're dealing with somebody and they don't have an ex, or that for some reason there's always some ex won't get over, and there's some natural tension because it's not even about the female, it's about the way you approaching me, or it's about what you're saying about me behind my back, whatever the case may be. And it's like, but in the middle of it, it's still about a female, no matter how you bring that back, right? And I always look at it and say this, that most of these dudes are in jail or the graveyard. I'm gonna be modest and I'm gonna say half. Half these dudes in the graveyard, half these dudes in jail. Somewhere in there, it was a woman involved in that equation, man. I always say this. Anybody that knows me know I always say this. Every time it's always confirmed. Like my point is validated time and time again. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I know about the streets is this, especially when you out of town and you going somewhere else, they can stomach you coming there getting money, right? Now you start really outshining them, and that gets a little tricky. But for the most part, people getting enough money that you can go somewhere and get money. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're moving right, right. But the one thing that will get you killed quicker than anything is messing with a female, bro. They're not gonna let you do both. You're not gonna be looking good, getting money, looking good, and messing with our women. That's probably not gonna happen. It's crazy how, like I said, they'll kill you, get killed, or something happen to you over the woman quicker than it will the money. I'm telling you, man, telling you, it's undefeated. So that's the part that is like, it sound like some backdoor type time. It sound like she lined them on some confrontation tip, on some bully tip, like, you don't give me what I want or do what I want. I got him in the tuck, he'll do something to you type time. And it make more sense that now when you say, he was shot 3 times and then the jury was taken off him, so he announced the robbery, but I don't even think he really gave him time to take his jewels off, man. But anyway, like, he shot him and then he stripped him of his jewelry. So that let you know it wasn't even about the jury. It wasn't even about whatever friction. It was really about you. He mad that he with this chick, man. I'm telling you, if that is the case, it had nothing to do with whatever. It had everything to do with that he was knocking this chick head off. And I don't mean like beating up on some domestic violence. I mean like sexually, like he in there tearing her guts up, and dude don't like that. Probably still wanted her, or just felt like, yo, not even necessarily want her, but whenever I want her, that's my situation. I can get it. Like, and then when it's like you can't do that, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, man. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, if that's the actual case, if that's actually what transpired, then that is bananas. Even more so. You know what I mean? Like, even more so. That's bananas. When you say that, it's not even. But it's not something that's uncommon for somebody to shoot you and still rob you, but still shoot you. Like 50% of them lead to shootings anyway. I tell them, whether it's a carjacking or whether it's armed robbery on the sidewalk, home invasion, whatever the case may be. At least 50% of those end in the shooting anyway. Just what come with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got half people that just want to rob you, but you got murderers doing robberies too. The murderers, they still gonna pop you, more than likely. Even if you show them the safe, and even if you do anything, you comply fully, a murderer doing a robbery is still going to shoot you somewhere. I promise you that. Just what it is. But this just adds a whole nother layer and element to a situation that was already bad, right? So that's bad. You know what I mean? They took a young father from his daughter. They took a person that was a productive force within the community. So that's always bad. You know what I mean? I still don't agree with him being in South Central for anything, to be honest. Especially jeweled up like that, like, because you make it easy. Now they gotta figure out if it was a robbery or if it was personal. You know what I'm saying? But it's been too many rappers. There's been too many rappers that's been killed in LA. Like, that list is extensive. But then when you factor the number of LA artists, like prominent LA artists that's been killed in LA, or by somebody from LA, you look like, is that really the spot? Like, everything, you hear about it, like, Brandon, you got the scenic, you got the scenery, you got the ambiance, you got the palm trees, half-naked babes, everything over there, you know what I'm saying, looking nice. It promotes you to get, to get something shiny and new to ride around in. They got the fashion, like, they got whatever you need, you know what I mean? So I understand the allure of LA. But at the same time, you can't let that allure make you lose situational awareness. No matter where you at, you got to maintain your situational awareness, because it's dangerous. Because you can't go to places where they don't even go. Like, you got LA artists, but more importantly, you got LA street dudes that don't even go to certain places. Why are you going to certain places if you're not from there? If they know the vibes, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing cowardly about being smart, man. We got to get away from that. We got to prove our masculinity. And a part of that is because the black man has been so demasculinized by the media, by entertainment, you know what I mean, by different portrayals, you know what I mean, that it's almost like the black man is fighting to save the identity of his masculinity. There's masculinity. You know what I mean? So no, I'm masculine. I'm not afraid. And no, I don't bend over. Like I don't conform. I don't play by the rules. You know what I mean? We're so hell bent on proving and falsifying that narrative that we're like this whole homosexual agenda and submissive type narrative that's been pushed. You know what I mean? That we're trying to find that now we find ourselves in this fight for survival when it comes to the real black man. And typically the way we do that is we're going to go to other places and show our masculinity. Now we're going to show you I can go to any hood and stand there and be cool, and I ain't gonna get nothing but love. Or they could bring the drama and I'm with it. We don't have to go out our way to prove that, man, because one thing I always tell people, if you live this life long enough, drama will naturally find you. And then you gotta stand on business. You will never gotta go out of your way to get drama. Believe me, you don't have to. That is gonna come knocking eventually, regardless. Then all that tough type talk that you were sitting there trying to push and trying to display, you're gonna have to fully display it with action. You're gonna have to get active with it. You know what I'm saying? But the part that's really troubling me about this, that's even more troubling than that fact that potentially he got lined up by his babe, is that now you got this. I told y'all in the last video what I was hearing outside was that you got Philly dudes ready to clip up and go to LA, right? And some people think that's far-fetched, and it's not far-fetched, because what you got to understand, I think I said this in the last video as well, is that you got a lot of Philly street dudes in LA. You got a lot of Philly artists. Like, they not really popping like that, but they getting their little money, you know what I'm saying? But you got a lot of Philly street dudes that be moving around LA. You got a lot of LA dudes that be moving around Philly, right? Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. I know some. I'm not gonna say a lot. There may be more Philly dudes in LA than LA dudes in Philly, right? But the point is that, you know, you hear the jokes on some hold on, pardon me, where you have you hear them making jokes like, damn, let me see them get this number of guns on the plane and yada 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 yada, and it's like, y'all looking at this wrong because y'all not doing mathematics. If you got dudes already there, believe me, they, you know, they right. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to lead to a whole nother situation where, like I said, it's already floating around that LA artists are not going to be safe in Philadelphia any longer. Like, this is not a California problem. Let's get that straight. People keep saying California. This isn't a California versus PA thing. It's not. It's not a California versus East Coast. It's not East Coast versus California. It's not West Coast versus East Coast. Like, let's not go back down that path. We've seen how that turned out before, and unfortunately, and crazy, that could have been a lot worse than what it was. Just being honest. But let's not push that narrative anymore. Let's not push that. That's not what it is. It's a whoever gang that dude was affiliated, if he's affiliated with a gang or whatever, versus dudes that love PNB, or or whatever that look like, right? Whatever that case is. Um, but it's not like I said, it's not a LA. It's not a California versus Philly thing. It's not even the LA versus Philly thing. So let me, hopefully people can hear this. Let me kill that. And I don't even really want the whole oh, California or LA artists aren't safe in Philadelphia. Like, one, like I told y'all before, LA doesn't have to go to Philly for music. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go to New York, they go to parts of Jersey, like they be in Atlantic City, whatever. Um, Outside of Philly, I don't see people do shows in Scranton and Hershey, PA, and all that. You know, they can go right down into DC. They don't really do Baltimore or crazy, but they do. They do Baltimore, but they do DC. They do Boston. You know what I mean? Now, not gonna hold you. That can get tricky even doing show and driving range. New York ain't nothing but an hour and 45 minutes. If people really on that kind of time, which I think it's the initial part. I think it's a whole lot of hurt. I think it's a whole lot of not really knowing how to feel about it, because when you think about it, Philly has not taken no losses on like in this, like in this, like, you know, other artists from other places have got killed outside their cities, but I can't think of this happening to a Philly artist ever. I can't think of one. You know what I mean? But I mean, Philly artists get killed in Philly every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is like they get killed in Chicago and Chicago. Like, you know, this is normal rep. Obviously, LA artists get killed in LA. You know what I mean? But for a while, since a Philly artist getting killed outside of the city, like in that fashion, nah. So I don't know if it's a little bit of ego in there. You know what I mean? But it's not as far fetched as people may think. Um, the people, and that's the reason why I'm speaking this way, because I can see the reality of it. Because what people got to understand is, you got to understand the mentality of the people of what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not raised with the whole gang mentality of 50 dudes, 25 dudes, 100 dudes. Like, we not raised that with that mentality. We're raised with a level of self-sufficiency when it comes to stuff like that, because, you know, even though you might have had a bunch of dudes on the block, you ain't rocking with all of them, and you don't even respect half of them, and you know half of them ain't one bust a grape in a fruit fight, and they ain't gonna kill nothing to see nothing die. You know what I'm saying? But you built the mentality of, I gotta handle my own business. I gotta stand on my own business, no matter what the opposition look like. Like, nobody's off limits. Nobody's exempt. Like, you know how the gang culture, they have structure. They have a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? We had that to an extent. But that line was very, very thin. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, you did it knowing what came with it. And you still was going to walk through that door anyway, and whatever happened on the other side of the door happened. Like, it was no fear of what was on the other side of that door, what the repercussions are. If that's the door I got to slide through, I'm sliding. You know what I mean? And I think people really got to understand the mentality of the people, like I said, which they're talking about, where, you know, I was really raised in a combat zone without realizing it. I was being conditioned for war without realizing it. And nothing has changed. You know what I mean? So when these young boys get on this time, or these dudes get on this time, you gotta understand, the odds was already stacked against them. So they don't care about odds or objectivity or whatever obstacle. All right, if I can't get on the plane, I'm gonna take that chance and drive. And they took that drive. More than y'all know, they took that drive for different reasons, but they already taking that drive, man. Like I said, you gotta understand the mentality. You gotta understand. But listen, it's still never smart. I don't care. I don't care. You gotta be smart about what you're doing. I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to go nowhere near that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff and variables that go into slide somewhere else. Like you got to understand the layout. You got to understand the extra routes. You got to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know them neighborhoods. Like what if you get blocks in and you trying to? You know what I'm saying? You don't know none of these neighborhoods well enough to even be able to maneuver. You ain't done none of this recon. It's easy to grab a gun and mad and say I'm going to slide, but okay, what's the rest of it? Because they sliding too. You know what I'm saying? It's always been dangerous sliding on somebody else's situation. It's always been dangerous. Now you talking about a whole nother coast. You talking about, come on, man. Like let's not let emotions get the best of you. Calm down. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say it's not my folks or my loved one that was getting this janaza plant for. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like I said, everything I'm hearing is that some people out here is really on some different type time. And the other part, what I'm hearing is that if that's correct with the whole New York situation, because you know they still mad about Pop Smoke. You know what I mean? They definitely mad about Big, but they still mad about Pop Smoke. So it's like when you got East Coast artists that keep going out to LA and getting killed in LA. Now, granted, I think both of them played a part in their own demise. Well, I'm gonna leave PNB out of this for a second because you know you don't have the full details. But Pop definitely slipped a little bit. He definitely slipped. Can't nobody. I mean, he took the picture, accidentally had the address in it. He in there with a bunch of young hoppers from there. You know what I mean? Like he was doing too much. Like he definitely was doing too much. You know what I mean? Um, Not to say he deserved to lose his life. Like I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? But I mean that's part of the reason why I believe that you typically don't hear about Philly dudes getting slipping like that, getting caught up because I'm telling you, when I say people are militant, man. Like I've been all over. And a common thing where I heard about somebody from Philly be, oh y'all are arrogant or y'all, you know, wear nothing but polo and had the shirts buttoned all to the top on some. I'm saying like, oh y'all was messing with all the chicks, like, or like on the other side, like I know, you know, I think Philly may be home of the burn artists. You know what I mean? If you think he bringing that paper back, then you're probably gonna get burnt. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's why I mean on the regular stuff, but on the other tip, that's why I know dudes have some disdain. But I ain't gonna air what part of a city that was commonly known for that I was told. But it definitely was a common denominator with section of the city was burning people. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm play the politics right now because I'm trying to uplift and be positive. But um, so in my opinion, that's why you don't hear about a lot of Philly dudes getting caught like that because you typically not slipping like that. You know what I mean? Um, you know, Philly is just a grimy place. It's I mean, what you gotta understand is that it's the poorest, largest big city in America. The poverty line is dumb, and the cost of living is even dumber. You know what I mean? So you put those two together, and then the black population is one of the largest black populations in the country. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different variables that go into that equation of why Philly is so. Then it's, you know, it's an old city. It's a bunch of row houses. It's dilapidated. Like it's a bunch of empty vacants and overgrown lots with weeds and trash all over the place and things on the corner nodding off. Like it's a very dark city, man. Like, and like I said, if you've never been there, then You won't understand the environment which people made it out of, or today they trying to make it out of, or they're trying to survive within. You know what I mean? So it's really a me against the world type mentality with us. I'm just being honest, because that's what we woke up to every day. You know what I mean? So the fear factor is typically lower in us than other places because of what we've seen on a day to day basis, what we experienced, what we had to fight through and maneuver through. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you can't let your ego and your pride get the best of you to make a bad decision. I think that would be brainless for multiple reasons, not just because of where you're trying to go to. You know what I mean? Where you talking about going to? Let me change that. But we not trying to get it to a point where it was in the mid '90s. You know what I mean? We definitely not trying to get it there. Um, but one thing you can stop doing is stop going to LA. Let that money dry up. Let them shows dry up. Sometimes you gotta make a stand that's bigger than your wallet, man. You know what I mean? Um, the the chief of police already said that they can't protect you when you come to LA. They already said any entertainers that's coming to LA for work or to perform or something, we can't even provide y'all with a layer of protection. So now you're forcing us to go there 50 deep, clipped up, and now I'm looking at all these potential gun charges and trafficking firearm charges and all this you want to throw us, and then we all booked in L.A. County in the middle of gangland, and we not in no gang. You know what I mean? Then you're gonna have us all on different tiers and different blocks and all that. Like, come on, man. Like, it's like, come on, man. It's a setup. You know what I'm saying? It's setup 101. You gotta be smarter than that. I need my Philly people to be smarter. I need my New York people to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? Um, just be smarter, man. Don't let emotions get the best of you. You know what I'm saying? It's more than one way to kill the cat. I overstand eye for eye. I overstand the concept. Um, but let's not get there. Even though I know that's where we at within our own communities. I know Philly definitely be on the like you can't even walk on certain blocks without, you know what I'm saying, if it's on that block, if that block is, you know what I'm saying, you can't even walk on that block. If you're not affiliated with that block, you walk on that block and the opposition see you, they probably going to shoot at you and shoot you or kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Philly is definitely the home of kill everybody that look like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the phrase "get down and lay down" was coined in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, I mean, like, the temperament is different. And don't get it twisted. I'm not glorifying anything. I'm just trying to give y'all an insight to the psyche of the mind of this is what's instilled from you since you this big without even realizing you're being conditioned for some other stuff. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, nothing good could come out of that. Nothing good. Um, it opens Pandora's box, and it opens a door that you just can't automatically close. Um, and you know, at the end of the day, that's what they want us to do anyway. You know what I mean? Let's not make it that easy. That cooler heads prevail. It really need to be some big homie calls going on, conversations going on. You know what I mean? Or get your man up, sacrifice your man. I mean, like, that's the path of least resistance. That's the path of least resistance because these young boys is knuckleheads out here. I mean, even if the people make the call like, no, we not treating LA rappers like that. They ain't got nothing to do with it. That may not necessarily stop these young boys from doing something retarded. You can't control these young boys, man. They retarded, man. They crashing. They crashing out. All they care about is sliding and drilling. That's all they care about. They don't care about nothing else, man. They got these guns and they want to work them. You know what I'm saying? And they got points to prove. You know? But You know, I thank y'all for sliding with me. I thank y'all for sliding down to the corners. We can have this conversation. I hope cooler heads prevail. I hope that voice of reasoning somewhere kick in, and that we just do something smarter and more intelligent, and that we handle things more diplomatically. But I know some people probably ain't like that, but I think that's the path of least resistance. If they want to sacrifice their man, sacrifice your man, and all that, it just go away. You know what I mean? Just being honest. Because I don't think all this is just talk. I think the dudes on the internet that's keyboarding, they just talking, but they getting it from somewhere. And the place they getting from is probably a solid place. You know what I mean? And you got dudes with the paper that can finance it. I'm just keeping it tall with y'all. Without going, I think I probably even already went too far, but that's about as far as I'm gonna go. Um, yeah, y'all be safe out there. Stay sucker free. Stay dangerous. Clip up, and to get them people away from you, man. That don't mean you no good. You heard? Thanks for walking down to the corner. Real rap. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know you was here. I see y'all in a minute. Be safe, man. Stay dangerous.